Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, September 20th, and this is episode 27 of The TED Show, still can't believe that. And I am with the amazing Thomas Waterman, who is a fraternity brother of mine. We're both Sigma Chi's. Yep, and I have to remember exactly how we met. You'll have to share that story because you're young and remember. Let me know if you can hear me as I'm trying to pull this stuff up and make sure there's an actual connection. The music's a little loud in here, but we don't have all of the static like we had yesterday. So I'm so excited to have you on the show because I think what you're doing in the world is so unique and needed. And if I was your age, that's exactly what I think I would be working on. So you're doing amazing things. So, all right, so I think we have it up. Let's see, Levita, I've got my sort of chest. I had somebody yesterday tell me that I needed to show more chest hair. None of you want to see more chest hair. Thank you, Pam, for saying that. I appreciate it, loud and clear. All right, so let's talk about you. You are a social entrepreneur, social enterprise, I think are your words, right?
I think so, yeah.
But you weren't always like that, and we'll get to the definition of that. But tell them a little bit about your history and how you got to, and we'll talk about backstory and purpose pioneers.
Yeah. So as a young child, I always wanted to be the first man on Mars. I wanted to go out, get on a space shuttle, and take humanity to where it's never been before. That's literally why I would go on NASA.gov and watch the Mars rovers for hours. And that was really what drove me. And what I realized is I wanted to live with purpose. I wanted to take humanity where it's never been before and challenge the status quo and do something with meaning in my life. So that really drove me as a young child.
How are you like that as a child? I mean, most people are eating dirt and maybe playing with crayons, or I don't know what they're doing. So what was different? Was it your upbringing, or just have that natural thing that you were born with?
Well, I think I ate a lot of dirt. So there was that. I played a lot of soccer. I played a lot of video games, all that stuff. But there was, I think, maybe having the freedom to do it and the encouragement. My parents always said, just be yourself. Be your authentic self. So I got to dress myself. I wore big cowboy boots that were way too big for me for like a couple of years, I think. I had these like snap-on, gecko shirts, super weird stuff, but I was always encouraged to be myself and loved for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that allowed me to really explore my intuition and my subconscious and say what really drives me, even at a young age.
So you go through high school, you graduate, you go to college, become a Sigma Chi, but you don't go the purposeful way at first. You go the traditional route. So tell them what you did.
So as I got older, the pressures of society started to kind of push, and I began to kind of live in a box of sorts. That started in high school, where I became very social. I was in the group, and all of a sudden, that was my priority, rising up the ladder of being cool or being social, connecting with others, and that's not a bad thing, but I think it took me away from my true self, true authentic self. So through college, I joined the top fraternity on campus, as Ted would say,
Sigma Chi, baby.
And I still kept rising up ladders that weren't necessarily my own. While I was in leadership, I was in SGA, Interfraternity Council, Vice President of Sigma Chi, I was doing those things. There was still a gap between my actions and my purpose, so who I really was. There was always this gap. And through college, there was always this gap, and it always made me feel a little empty and a little insecure and a little sad. And I was distanced from fulfillment, which is what we all are after. So after college,
so you pushed away you knew that you weren't fulfilling what you should be fulfilling.
Right. But after college, I kept going.
Yeah, you kept going still down that path that wasn't what you knew your purpose was, but it was whatever anybody else had designed for you, or what you thought was right. Is that what you did?
Yeah, so I got a job right out of school as an IT recruiter, and I thought, hey, I need to get a job, I need to make a certain amount of money, I need to move downtown, I need to do all these things to feel good about myself. Very extrinsic motivation. So I did that for 2 years, and I excelled, and I got promoted, and then I got recruited to another company at another promotion, and I was doing well, making more money, but not one time did I feel more fulfilled or more happy. And that just seemed empty. I felt like I was maybe pursuing the wrong things.
Right. So something was still inside you from the childhood and from what you knew, but you were doing all the things that, as you said, outwardly looked like you were at the top. You were successful at what you're doing. You're downtown. At
Flashy
what point,
suits,
flashy suits, or
bow ties,
the crazy mobile home carpet that I'm wearing. Somebody said nice jacket. Thank you. So what was the turning point, though? So at what point did you go, all right, I can't do this anymore? Because it's not like you're my age, 35.
35, yeah.
It's not. What made you go, all right, I want to do something completely different, even though outwardly it looks like I'm successful?
So at one point, I think it was when I was transitioning to the new job that I got recruited to, I said, okay, well, if only I get a new job, then I'll be happy.
Right.
I'll be happy if I get a new job.
Right.
So I did that for 3 months, and nothing changed again. There's only so many times in life that I can try to do something new and have it not do anything and think that doing something new is going to help again.
Right, sure.
Right? So I took about 2 weeks to really reflect on who am I, why am I doing what I'm doing, who am I trying to impress, why am I trying to impress them, and I really dove in and just looked inward at myself and said, like, what the heck am I doing? And then after that 2 weeks, I went into my office. I went in, I checked my Outlook Express for the very last time, and I was like, I am never checking an email from Outlook Express ever again, and I'm going to choose myself. So I was tired of letting others choose me and then rise up ladders.
That's powerful. You chose yourself.
Yeah,
I love that.
And I told my manager, and who I love dearly to this day, I said, this doesn't align with who I am and what fulfills me. And I know people preach hard work, but I'm going to go put my hard work into something that fills me up. I think we can work hard and live a meaningful life.
And your age group, and I hate to use the word millennial because everybody hates that word, but millennials are empowered to be that way. Like, you don't accept the status quo in general, and that is a great thing to be because there's so much more you can create in your world than the generations before you had the opportunity to do. Or maybe they had the opportunity but they didn't have the wherewithal and it wasn't accepted. You just went along the path like you were talking about. So you quit your job, and then what? So everybody's like, okay, I quit my job, yay. Now how am I going to make money, and what am I going to do to be purposeful and make my life feel like I'm being fulfilled?
Right. So a lot of the times people quit their job and say, well, now I have to come up with an idea, and that'll, then I'll create a business around an idea and everything will be great. But what I found is I can come up with 1,000 ideas, but if that idea doesn't align with what drives me and align with my purpose, then I'm not going to follow through with it. I'm not going to be able to sell it. I'm not going to be able to wake up every morning and work on it as hard as I can. So what I did for the first month is I moved into Canvas, which is a really amazing co-working space in downtown Orlando. Yeah. I work there every day of my life to this day, so shout out to them. I moved in there, and for about 30 days I journaled and said, like, what gets me going, like what makes me want to wake up in the morning. And I realized that I really like. I believe that everyone is inherently good. They just need the right experiences to bring that goodness out of them, right? They just need someone to ask the right question.
I love that.
Or just be there, right? And what makes people act evil or bad in a way, a lot of times has to do with a bad experience. So if I can give them something more meaningful, then I can bring out the best in them, and imagine a world where everyone's doing that. I think we would just have abundant fulfillment, success, and a lot of problems that we solve. So I spent about a month determining what drove me to get up every morning, and that was my initial purpose.
Because who thinks like that? Like, most of us just get up, it's a routine, and we go about our business, come home, and if you look at it, it's almost like Groundhog Day. Like, everything's the same, status quo. You might get a promotion here or there, you might make a job shift, but you're still just going through the motions instead of living in the present or being present.
I think that's living in fear. I think it's living in fear, and it's something I did for a long time. I am fearful that being my authentic self is going to get rejected in this world.
So the fear and rejection was a driving force in not stepping outside.
Correct. And the thing is, if we fear that society is going to reject us, we're going to conform to what society says is the right thing to do, and then rationalize to ourselves that we should keep doing that, and then we'll be happy.
Right.
But the truth is, nothing makes you happy unless you're being truly yourself. So that's just a really profound
awesome
takeaway I had, and I was just like mind blown, and that's where it really all began.
And you journal, you figure out, all right, I'm on the right path now. I think I know what my path is.
Yep.
And is that at the point where you developed and created Backstory?
Yep.
So talk to them about Backstory.
Yeah. So Backstory was an outgrowth of that concept of helping create experiences to bring out the good in people. So what I realized is that nonprofits do a lot of great work. And if we could connect more people to them in a meaningful way, where they feel like they're actually impacting something, where they're emotionally connected, and where they're seeing the impact of every dollar raised, they'll be more engaged to give back, volunteer more, and all that. So that was the original concept.
Love it.
So what we did based on that was we created a crowdfunding platform for nonprofits, for stories about social causes, really. So every single campaign we created, we would create a powerful video story about that cause, and then we would create a tangible goal. So that goal would not just be, raise 50 grand. It would be raise $42,100, so we can send 25 youth in foster care to UCF for 4 weeks, so they can feel worthy of a college education, right? So that was our first campaign.
Well defined, well thought out. And people can look at it and go, I'm not just writing a check and it's going into this abyss somewhere.
Right.
There's actually a program, something, a thought process in it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And the cool part is after the goal was achieved, we call our donors story heroes. After the goal was achieved, we create an impact video. And that impact video shows the happier and better ending to the story that these kids got, but now you get to be engaged with that better ending to the story.
That's for me, I do a lot of, go to a lot of they call them ask events. So you go, you're a table captain, you drag 15 of your, I love them, don't get me wrong, I'm going to do one next week. You drag 15 of your friends, and they all know that they're going to get up early usually, they're going to come, and they're going to cry. They're going to be impacted because what they're doing at that Ask event is sort of what you're doing all the time with them. They're putting someone up there that is going to have an emotional impact. Either they have benefited from the service or what their story is, what their heart is. And so what you're doing is taking that out and making it, in my opinion, more impactful and having a bigger audience.
Yep, scalable, shareable online experience.
Because people don't, I've got the one next week and I'm going to go to it. I love the organization. I'm on the board for Base Camp, and it's a fantastic organization. If I thought about what they're going to do, and I know what they're going to do, to really get people to understand how powerful their service is, you're creating that with Backstory. You could create that for anyone and a more long range.
Right. So that was the initial concept, and we actually hit our goal with our first client, community-based care, and we sent 25 kids to UCF for a month.
That's awesome.
We have an impact video out, and it was really incredible, but what I realized was it's still not fully sustainable. And that took me to my next mission, which is to harness the power of capitalism to create sustainable social change. Right? If we just build the giving experience into the capitalistic model, then people will be getting what they need, buying what they need, and fueling social causes that matter most. So now we took a little pivot, right? And we're working on it now, and we're building out we're remodeling the website and doing everything. Is now the campaigns are no longer funded by donations, but they're funded by companies committing 1% of every customer purchase to the cause. So people now, now they say, hey, you just made a purchase with my company. Here's a link to the Backstory campaign, and this is literally your purchase is making this story have a better ending. And then now, every single month, we send the company an impact video. So every month, they get to say, hey, customer, remember when you bought that stuff from us? And we committed 1% of that purchase back to this cause here in Orlando that you care about? Well, here is a video literally showing the impact of your purchase, right?
Wow.
So it's a giving back experience for companies, and an unlimited amount of companies can get around one campaign here in Orlando. So we're figuring out what nonprofits and causes do we want to focus on? What do people care about? right? And then we can align companies in Orlando around the causes that matter most and get them aligned and fueling sustainably, fueling these causes to create real impact. And guess what? Here's the sweet part, is that every single time they do it, they're actually winning. Their bottom line is winning. Because now every sale they make, they're making people feel good, so they're making more sales.
Absolutely.
So everyone is winning, and I just feel that once we can get this thing nailed down, we can literally change the world.
I love that. So because going back, that's the other thing. So you cut a check or you participate in the normal traditional way, and then you don't hear back on how your donation impacted. So having that video that you're giving back to them and showing them what their money and what their donation did or what the campaign did.
Yep.
'Cause that's what you call it. You use the word campaign. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
campaign.
it. Donation scares people sometimes, so I like campaign. That's powerful because a lot of times in the past, I mean, I pledged, I think I still have pledges going on, 5-year pledges. I've never heard from the organizations.
Right.
I have no idea, but I'm not going to be that guy who stops his 5-year pledge.
Right.
But how awesome it would be and would make me want to re-engage with them if I got something like that, if I saw what my money was going toward. Every month. So that's powerful. That's very powerful.
And it's bringing the companies into it, because we believe companies sometimes get a bad rep, but we believe that companies are a force for good, right? A company is a leader, a thought leader in the community. They employ people in the community. They serve people in the community. They can create scalable impact. So if we can incentivize them and make their bottom line win along with helping the community at the same time, it's a win-win, no-brainer for everyone. So we're trying to work it and make it just right. So really we're trying to talk to a lot of CEOs in town and get their feedback and get their buy-in. That's really where we're at right now.
So one thing that you say, then we'll move to Purpose Pioneers.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
That I hear you say all the time, and I think it's so important for other people to hear. Your belief system, which I think drives everything that you do, is that people, corporations, everyone's inherently good. So you're going in with the assumption of positive rather than negative all the time.
Always.
And I think that creates the path, in my opinion, that creates the path for you that's good. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and to add to that really quick is that whether it's true or not, that someone is inherently good, coming to them with that intention is effective, right? So even if someone isn't, and I come to them and believe that they are, that opens up a path like we're talking about, right? To give them a path to forget about their past story and create their next chapter that maybe has a better ending as well.
And that may be the first time they've ever been assumed to be good versus bad.
Yes.
So that's very, very powerful. All right, talk about Purpose Pioneers.
Okay.
That's a Backstory's one company and one thing that Thomas is working on. Talk about Purpose Pioneers.
So I thank you for this pitch practice.
I love it. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. The beautiful thing is both of these companies align with what I believe in. So I think inherently it's useful to talk about. So Purpose Pioneers was based on the belief that we believe that if we align our actions with our purpose, with every single moment and every decision and every day, that we will achieve abundance in fulfillment and success. So the more I align myself with my purpose, there isn't room for depression, sadness, anxiety. It all lives in here, right? It all lives in here. So I clear all of that, and now I'm fully aligned and I can achieve abundance and success, right? Because now I'm talking about what I believe in. And when I talk about what I believe in, people who believe what I believe now want to work with me.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with my product, my features on my product, how fast it is, how cheap it is. People will rationalize those things to work with me. So I'm now creating a community of people who will never ever go anywhere else because I'm talking about my purpose and aligning my actions with my purpose. So now there's trust built. So it's based on that belief, and what we do is we help individuals uncover their purpose and create an action plan to live it every day, and then we help companies uncover their values and purpose and align each piece of their business with their purpose.
That's awesome.
So they can not only help their shareholders, but help their community, help the environment, and help their workers as well.
I think that's so awesome. I think a lot of people, a lot of companies, let's use them for example, they have a mission statement. They have all of this stuff that somebody probably made up 20 years ago.
Right.
They don't live by it. That's not really what they might be able to recite it, like you recite the Pledge of Allegiance, but they don't really know what it is or what it means, or they don't utilize it in their day in day out operations. So you're taking that and helping them create one that's actually able to be utilized and worked.
We call it the Purpose First Journey.
The Purpose First Journey.
That's our current name of the experience with the company. It's the Purpose First Journey.
And so what would a company go through? So if you've got a company that says, all right, Thomas, I want to work with you, give me just some example of what they may see with you, or what kind of companies maybe that you reach out to.
Of course. So it's a year-long experience, and we meet with you once a month. It starts with educating your team on why purpose matters, why starting with why matters. Then it goes to assessing your company. Where's your alignment? Where's your misalignment? What is everything going on with the company right now? Then it's uncovering your values and purpose. So really diving in with the team and really understanding what you guys believe in, what guides you, what filters every action and decision you make. Then it's articulating that purpose and those values. So creating your mission statement and your vision statement. The next step is aligning with that. So now we focus on helping them align these living and breathing statements with every piece of what they do.
Wow.
Right? That they've all agreed on together. And then the next piece is creating an action plan. So figuring out what are the next steps to get closer to our purpose. And then we coach you on and align you for 6 more months. And then we do an impact assessment. So we help you, or impact and alignment assessment. So we help you measure the quantitative impact you're having in the community and with your workers and everything, and in your finances, which is important. We gotta win. We gotta win there.
We do.
And then we also help you quantify. So it's the impact, and then we help you quantify your alignment. So it's how aligned have you got that you promised to get. And then really it's the first year is what we focus on, and we'll figure out what we do after that.
I love that. What you're creating, you're giving them an opportunity. It's almost like they're restarting, and you're getting everybody. Well, you're getting everyone to buy in. And so if people, which I think is what's powerful about what you do, if people buy into the process, if they feel like they are part of it, then they're going to continue to support it.
That is everything. That is everything. So community has been a thing for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and community is at its best. And I'm quoting my business partner, Alex Lagresta, who also has her own startup called My Loop that's all about community engagement.
Hi, Alex. I think there she is.
Oh, is she? Yeah,
right there. There you go.
There she is. Yeah, and she helps right now with Chambers of Commerce engage their members. But she says something really powerful, and it's communities are at their best when everyone feels like their voice is heard, their impact is felt, and they matter.
Yes.
And that's community. It's not just a group of people trying to network, right? It's a group of individuals who feel something inside of them. They feel full. They feel connected.
Right.
And the more we focus on that, I think the more abundantly successful communities can be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think what's wonderful too about millennials, we'll just use that word again, is that you're forcing everyone else in a good way to really reevaluate how we do business, how we think about things, how we think about our employees, our partners, our donors, our sponsors, and really try to bring them and engage them in a way that nobody has done before, because it's been the status quo. And the status quo is not working. That's why you're seeing nonprofits fail. There's too much media out there has painted it, and it's true. It's too top heavy on administration with a lot of the nonprofits. So and corporations too. I mean, think about how all of these CEOs are making a gazillion dollars as their employees are suffering. So there's a lot of distrust out there.
Sure.
And so but in the past, we just went along with it and got the gold watch at the end of 30 years and moved along. Now that we have no pension plans left and people have lost their pensions and people are really questioning, I think your age group has come in and challenged all that and helped create a better place for people to feel safe and to be more creative.
And I think that has a lot to do with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So we talk about the generations and how millennials, we want purpose and meaning, and that's all we want, right? Well, I think the reason for that is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, tribally, we started out with just physiological needs, where I need to be fed, I need water, I need my blood temperature to be constant.
I need wine. Sorry.
Ted Boger needs some wine. Actually, we might need a refill for you, brother.
Oh, look, 5 minutes. I love it. Vanna White over here. Thank you, Yvonne, for helping us, by the way. Yvonne Sandoval.
Oh, this is flying. So Yeah, so we start there with the physiological needs. Then we move up to safety, right? So I need to be sheltered. I need my loving parents or people to protect me, right? Then it's self-esteem. I need to be good at stuff so I can feel good about myself. And then at the very top is I need purpose and I need meaning. So I think about the generations in the 40s and 50s. It was like, I just need a house.
Right.
I just need, and they're beyond I need to be fed. They're like, I want a house. I want to feel safe. Then it got into the corporate world where I need to be good at stuff and be shown that I'm good at stuff.
Yes.
Build my self-esteem, get the corner office, be promoted, get the money incentive, right? But now we're at a point where all of that is abundant because of the internet, because we have abundant access to each other, and all of those levels of the hierarchy are covered. Now millennials are saying, how can we really take this to the next level? How can we move out of extrinsic motivations, and how can we move to intrinsic motivation, which is the most powerful human force?
I love that.
I just listened to a book on it yesterday about it, is that there's nothing more powerful than when your employees have self-determination and they're showing up for them, not because of a paycheck or any carrot at the end of the stick.
Right.
So I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think more and more people are going to see the power of purpose and the power of doing something because you want to do it, not because you're told to.
And you talked a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. Curation was a word you used earlier, and you touched on it a little bit there. So just give them that, because it was so profound what you said, and I think you're right, and I don't think people are thinking about it that way. But I said he used a 25-cent word, and I think he said it was a 50-cent word. It probably is. Half dollar.
So I believe that curation is the future of value in the economy, right? So before we were valued because we had knowledge. People who were smart and had knowledge, they were valued. And now, since the internet came into being, now we have an abundance of information. So it's not about knowing stuff anymore. It's not about knowing stuff. It's the ability to curate the right stuff and package it and deliver it to people. Like, I like when I get an email with the best 5 articles I should read instead of having to search through every article on the internet.
Correct.
That's
what you mean by curate.
Curate is bring things together and offer it to people in a very valuable package. Like, I did the hard work, guys. Like, I am the person who has found all of this powerful stuff.
Right.
You don't have to go searching on your own, right? Trust me, this is it. Boom. And that is the future of the economy. So if you want to be effective, don't bring all this information onto one platform, but recommend people things. Deliver the thing you know that they're going to love, because they don't want to make decisions. They don't want to search. They just want the value in the moment right now.
I love that. All right, so tell everyone your websites. What's the best way to reach you and get to you?
Yeah, so I would say LinkedIn. Huge fan of LinkedIn.
Me too.
Yeah, Purpose Pioneers actually recreates people's LinkedIns for putting their purpose first and bringing the story of their career to life. So
that's awesome.
I believe that LinkedIn is a very powerful landing page for anyone in their professional life. So Thomas Waterman at LinkedIn. Also, you can go to backthestory.com to check out our last campaign. Or purposepioneers.com. We're still building the website, but it's definitely doable for now. So those are ways. And then my email, I would say, which one? Thomas@purposepioneers.com.
And I'll put all this when I post, actually. You're a joy to be around, man. I love the positive. Love you too, buddy. I love the positive energy. I think that what you're doing is what we need to have done, and it's so refreshing to have somebody who is positive and assumes the best in people first instead of the worst. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, brother. I
appreciate it, brother. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you, and thanks for the support. And now Vanna White, Yvonne Sandoval is going to hit the finish button. Love you guys. Bottom right.
Boom.
Hit it one more time. We love you.